Good morning, my beautiful friend. This is Heather Dunlop with Thriving Woman. And today I'm going to talk more about identity. We've been talking about our identity all week. So, Monday I talked about your identity and the identity you've had that was formed when you were young. May not be what you wanted, it's what got implanted, though, and got automated. Then on Tuesday, we talked about fake it till you make it and why that will not work. And yesterday we talked about how identities start to get formed. So I want to talk a little bit more about that today. Today I want to talk about how our identity is shaped by our beliefs, because that's really what creates our identity. What we believe is what we believe who we are. So let's talk about how beliefs get shaped. So what happens is you have a situation or an experience, something happens, and that situation itself does not have any emotion attached to it until you attach an emotion to it. Does that make sense? Something happens and every different people will see it in a different way. And then you have a thought about it, and that thought then triggers your emotions, which causes you to have an action. And you do that over and over and over, like 60, 70, 80 times. It keeps getting repeated. That same situation, you have that same thought, emotion, action. Situation, thought, emotion, action. Situation, thought, emotion, action. That happens over and over. It starts to become automated. And that automation is what ends up creating your belief. So your belief then says in the future, you don't need to think about this because when that situation comes up, the belief says, this is what I do, and here's the actions and the results that I get. So we talked about that a little bit on Monday. For example, I'm a survivor. I used to have the identity, I am a survivor. And it wasn't one that I wanted, it wasn't one that I was comfortable with. And yet it got in there. How did it get in there? Because those thoughts, emotions, actions, results repeated themselves enough times to get in. And I had to consciously make effort, which we talked about yesterday, consciously take the effort to stop that. So when that situation came up, I had to consciously choose to have a different thought, which then caused a different emotion and different action. So it's our thoughts that really trigger the emotions and the actions. It's the situation, how we view it, what we think about it. Then we have the thought, we have that thought, emotion, action, and result, and we get our beliefs. So, how did I go about changing it to I am a thriver? Conscious effort. Talked about that yesterday. Conscious effort. I had to consciously choose that when I had that situation, the old thought would come up, and that's okay. They're going to come up. What I needed to do was recognize it and change it in that very moment. Not let it go and say, oh, I should have done this, or I could have done that, or God, I want to change this. I'm so tired of feeling this way. No, in the moment, you have to do it right then and there. That's where the statements I am come into play. That's a big piece about our identity. If you're not sure what your identity is or how, certain things are going on, listen to your thoughts and listen to the words that come out of your mouth. And when you say I am or I do or I don't do or I am not, that is showing you what your identity is and what your current belief system is. So if you say, I am a survivor, that's your identity. I speak, I'm not a survivor, I am a thriver. I chose to change that around because I wasn't comfortable with the survivor identity. So change your wording, pay attention to what goes on. That's how you're going to create a new belief. So what happens is you automate it enough over and over and over so that new belief starts to become automated and take over, and the old one will start to go away as you work on getting rid of that. Now, we've got a 5-step process that we use to get rid of those old beliefs, to remove them so that they're no longer powerful and to actually break that connection. Because what happens is in the brain, when you create a belief, there's your neurons are firing and everything starts to come together. The more you repeat it, the closer and closer, excuse me, the closer and closer it gets together. And then all of a sudden it actually connects. And like a magnet, it can no longer be pulled apart. So that's how the belief is formed. So what we want to do to get rid of the old beliefs is break this connection. That magnet that's holding on so strong And we use our 5-step process to work with the brain, to train our brain that that is not a part of who we are any longer. So that that connection that was so strong at one point, that was so automated that you didn't even think about it, that you didn't even realize you were doing it until afterwards, or you may not realize you did it at all because it's just so automatic. This process that we have, we take that connection and we start to break it up, and we weaken that bond, and we weaken it and we weaken it. So it's not holding us tight anymore. And then it starts to pull apart. And as we continue to work on it, because at this point it could pull back together if we don't work on it, if we allow it to. We have to continue to work there so that it gets so far apart that the magnets can't connect any longer. They're just that connection is broken. And while we're breaking apart that old belief, we're doing the exact opposite with our new belief. So we're creating our new beliefs and it's coming closer and closer. There's new neurons firing over here, and those new neurons are going to come together, and then they're going to connect. And once they connect, we continue to work to make sure that that bond is so tight that it cannot be broken unless we consciously make the effort to remove it if we choose to. Which, when this is the identity that we choose, that we want, that's going to get us to our vision life, same time. And we do that through a multi-step process. We have a 5-step process to remove the old belief, and we have a process to implant and create and automate the new belief so that you become who you want to. So pay attention, have the thoughts, the words, I am, or I do, or this is who I am. This is what I do. What are you saying in those moments? Are you saying, I'm not worthy? Are you saying, I don't deserve this? Or do you say things like, "Oh, it's good enough. That's all I'll ever get. I'll always get what I've always had." No, we get to change that. By working together through coaching, we get to change that so that you have the belief, I am worthy. I deserve to have what I want in life. I am a thriving woman. I get to live out that vision life that I've been dreaming about for so long. I get to do that. That's the amazing thing. So when we work together, we are going to build on this to help you shape your identity. And your identity isn't what I want for you. It's not what someone else wants for you. It's not what someone told you you should be or you should identify as. But what do you want? How do you want to identify yourself? What do you want your own identity to be? What identity do you create within yourself and automate within your brain so that it actually gets you to your vision life? Because once you're living in that person and living in that new identity, it will happen. See, it's not just about surface level affirmations. They don't go deep enough. And a lot of the times they aren't yours, so they don't work. What we do is we work with you to create your own identity and your plan to get you to where you want to go, not where someone else wants you to go. Because then when you identify the way you choose to, everything can happen. You can have all the love and the joy and the wonderful relationships and success at work and live the life that you choose to joyfully and happily. So if this is resonating with you, I'm going to put a link in my comments below. So just click on that, schedule a quick 15-minute call with me, and let's go deeper on this to work on your identity. Let's talk about how you want to identify yourself. I'm here to help. I'm here to coach. That's what I do. So reach out, schedule a 15-minute call, and let's get together and go a level deeper towards what you want to achieve in your life. This is Heather Dunlop. Always remember, you have strength within you.